Are 401ks a safe retirement plan? Americans are in a retirement crisis. As much as 30% of Americans don't even have retirement savings. Many Americans worry if they'll be able to save as much as they need, and most agree that they need to work longer to try to even come close to their retirement goals. But are 401ks a safe retirement plan? Employees are working longer. First, let's focus on the fact that most people don't count on retiring at the normal retirement age anymore. It's just not feasible. Instead, they're focusing on working until 70, maybe even 75. The people that plan to retire at 70 still foresee themselves working at least part-time until age 75. With people working longer, does a 401k make sense? Is it safe for their investments? It can be. But there are downsides and/or disadvantages you should understand. The confusion 401ks cause. A 401k sounds great at first. Your employer tells you that you're eligible for a 401k after 6 months of employment, and they'll match the first 3% of your salary in contributions if you contribute. It sounds great, right? But what no one talks about is the confusion that ensues from the first meeting. Most people come out of the meeting overwhelmed and making rash decisions because you have to have knowledge to invest, and no one is holding your hand like they would with a discount broker or even robo-advisor. A lot of the responsibility falls on your shoulders. Most people hear that they should invest aggressively when they're young, but what does that even mean? And what other factors should they consider? Just investing aggressively and hoping for the best doesn't work. You are in charge of your investments, wins or losses, so your retirement is on your shoulders. There are a lot of unknowns when you go into a 401k. No one explains the costs, risks, and alternatives to you. All you hear are the opportunities you have, and you feel like you have to take it. But should you? 401ks are a tax loophole. 401ks and even IRAs started as a tax loophole. While employees used to get a guaranteed pension from their employer, they didn't get a tax break of their retirement contributions. That's where the 401k and IRA excitement started. High earners saw an opportunity to invest a portion of their income pre-tax, which lowered their tax liability. The problem is that it passed down to everyone, not just high-income earners. Pensions took a back seat with most companies, opting for the 401k instead, putting all responsibility on the employees. The portability of 401k. Despite their downsides, 401ks have a clear positive. They are portable. Pensions were only good if you worked for the company. While you could either cash them out or take an annuity, the account never grew any longer, so your chances of saving for retirement ended. 401k and IRAs, however, are portable. You can roll them over into another retirement account without incurring a penalty. This makes changing jobs a lot easier in the long run, as long as you're 100% invested. The responsibility shifted. Here's the real problem when shifting from pensions to 401ks. The responsibility shifted. With pensions, employers carried 100% of the risk. They were responsible for funding each employee's retirement funds, with little risk to the employee. As more businesses turned to the 401k, a majority of the responsibility shifted to the employees. You are now in charge of making investment decisions, contributing to your retirement account, and making sure you're vested before making any changes. Choosing the right investments. The largest risk is choosing the right investments. Should you choose an aggressive, moderate, or conservative portfolio? How do you know when to shift to a different portfolio? Most people assume younger people should take more risk, and the closer you get to retirement, the less risk you should take. But will that leave you with enough money for retirement? Every individual is different, and if you don't understand the risks, you could be left without the money needed for retirement. High returns covered up high fees. The fees are where most people get hit without realizing it. When 401ks first started in the 80s and 90s, mutual funds had crazy high returns. No one cared what it cost them to invest in the funds because they were making hand over fist in returns. But what no one realized is they were throwing money away with those fees. Why spend money on fees when it could be more money for retirement? People that dig into the fees are shocked at what they actually spend to have a 401k. There are fees to manage your account, fees to withdraw, take loans, trade, administrative fees, and more. No one predicted market crashes. Here's the other problem. No one thought about the market crashing. They didn't think about what goes up must come down, and come down hard. The dot-com crash, followed by the mortgage crisis, caused millions of people to lose everything they had saved for retirement. Not only did they lose their retirement savings, but millions of people also lost their jobs, leaving people destitute and not knowing what to do. Look at who is managing the 401k. Here's the problem. If you don't know who is managing your 401k, you could be paying high marketing and administrative fees because no one is overseeing what companies are doing. Anyone can technically call themselves an expert at your company and manage your 401k. Does this mean you're getting the best deal? Probably not. Rather than the cookie-cutter method used at most companies, you need a financial advisor that must act as a fiduciary to manage your retirement funds, or you're lining someone else's pockets with your own retirement funds. Many people helping you with your 401k choices are salespeople working for their own commission. Ask yourself what you need. So how do you decide if a 401k is safe? You must do some soul searching and then research. First, ask yourself what you want out of your retirement fund. Are you knowledgeable in all things investment, or do you need someone to tell you what to do? If you need advice, a 401k is probably the last place you should keep your funds. Sure, you can invest enough to get the employer match, because you shouldn't pass up free money. But beyond that, consider investing elsewhere. Work with a financial advisor outside of your company, someone who acts as a fiduciary, and see what they recommend. Don't automatically assume your 401k is the safest and best option. Next, look at those fees. Don't assume your 401k has your best interest in mind. We can almost guarantee there are fees for every little thing. Do you really want to pay money to withdraw your own funds besides what Uncle Sam charges? There's normally a 10% penalty plus taxes for early withdrawal. But your 401k can charge even more fees, even if you just take a loan or make trades. Should you trust your employer's 401k? It would seem natural to trust your employer, but we encourage you to dig deeper. There may be better alternatives than what your employer offers. Like we said, get the employer match, but beyond that, see what options you have and compare them side by side. You may find that you could have a much larger retirement account investing elsewhere. Why take the chance with fees or having to make investment decisions yourself if you don't know the first thing about investing? If you go with your 401k, find out what qualifications your employer has to provide you with advice to help you get the most out of your retirement funds. Your future is in your hands. Your future is in your hands. You have options when investing for retirement, and that includes 401k or IRA. Before you choose anything, look at all sides of it, including where you can invest, how you trade, and what you'll pay. Are there account minimums? What fees do they charge, and in what instances? Can you take your funds if you leave your job? How long does it take to be vested? Most importantly, though, find out who and how your account will be managed. Are you 100% in charge of it? Is anyone qualified, licensed to give you advice, or are you totally on your own? Look at the big picture and always diversify your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and make sure you have someone with a fiduciary responsibility on your side. If you'd like to hear about how to handle your personal finances and make sure you're ready for retirement, be sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified of our latest episodes.